I'm not assuming Rodgers is going to be the winner of this award for various reasons. One, Brady had an incredible year. Did you see Arians said it shouldn't even be a contest, close contest? That's Arians being Arians.
But the stats aren't close, and they have the same amount of wins.
There are tons of Rodgers stats.
The only stat Rodgers is better at is interceptions
and wins.
The same amount of wins.
What do you mean? What do you mean wins? They're the same. His team's won more, and that's the way it is too. Sometimes.
Come on.
There are some other metrics too. I could send you a whole bunch of metrics that make it look like Rodgers should win this thing going away. And the interceptions thing is a huge. I mean, it's insane how this guy does not throw interceptions. And if he throws an interception in the playoffs, it's going to look like a turd in a punch bowl. That's how.
Doesn't throw interceptions because he's too conservative.
I don't think he just doesn't. His accuracy is all world insane, and you know that too. But that's what I'm saying is there's definitely an argument here. And then you have one voter who's already outed himself as somebody who doesn't deserve a vote. I can't say it anymore about this fella from Chicago. And if there's more like him, that's one less vote. And you don't get to put multiple names down like other sports where the third place finisher gets these points and second place finisher gets crazy, it's one name. You put in one name, and that is it. And there will be people that put the names of Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor down because there is a total case. Although the way that Taylor and the Colts finished might finish off his conversation as MVP. But Cooper Kupp had an incredible year. An insane year. How good was his year is that
how good was it?
That he's being talked about as an MVP candidate and the quarterback isn't. Normally, it's a quarterback award, as we all know. Yeah. But Kupp is so good, and he blocks. He does it all. He is also a third-hour guest on tomorrow's program. He does it all. And he will get votes for the MVP. So it's not just split between Brady and Rodgers. It's a three-way split. And all you got to do is just have enough people vote for Kupp or vote the way this fella from Chicago says he's voting, and Rodgers is not winning this award. It's a split vote. Thing I can't believe, and this, I was just new to the NFL because I did baseball mostly at ESPN. The first year we were at a Super Bowl for the NFL Network, 2003 season. We're there in 2004 in Houston, and I interviewed the co-MVPs. It was a split.
Well, Manning and Steve McNair, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
A split award. And I meant, if the voting was the same at the time, 25 and 25. Like an actual landing on the head of a pin. Sort of like almost Chargers-Raiders, a tie.
But do you think it's time for them to change that?
No question. The whole voting should be changed.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
And
more voters.
I will always shoot everybody straight here.
Definitely more.
Always shoot everybody straight here. I don't have a vote. I'm not pleased about it. I'm not going to lie. I have been told multiple times by the very well-intentioned folks that run this award that I'm an NFL employee, and thus the AP's standards and ethics will not allow somebody who works for the NFL to vote on an award that involves an NFL player or award for the NFL. And I have mentioned multiple times that I think that my career and the way that I conduct myself has shown my independence. Be that as it may.
Well, that's just like if you work for a company, you can't win a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter because we work for the show. Like that.
I look, man. All I'm saying, and then, so I think I've seen enough football. Well, look, forget about me. But I just want to make everyone understand that when I talk about why the voting needs to be changed, I definitely have
ulterior motives there.
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's a personal thing with me too. But professionally, just outside of it, even if I had a vote, I'd be calling up saying, "This guy is another guy who votes like this, and I'm putting my name in it, and my." Reputation and brand and resume like that. Really, somebody's calling up saying, "I think he's a jerk." and he's probably never met him. All he does is he sees what's going on the Zoom.
Also,
I don't know. And by the way, when we talk about personal, if I had somebody in that, press conference room, certainly at a time where, a variant was around where unvaccinated people were far more likely to give it to others than vaccinated people, and he was not wearing a mask, which made it seem like he was vaccinated as opposed to immunized, I would think that's a jerk move too. Yep. But I would never say that this guy doesn't deserve to be the MVP because of it. And then you should have more than one name. I mean, just make it a point system.
Right.
Like
the Heisman Trophy.
Right. Yeah. So if I had a vote right now, and I made it with Peter King too, I was going back and forth between Rodgers and Brady. I put Brady because he's a 44-year-old guy doing this stuff with 5,000 yards and 40-some-odd touchdowns. It's insane. I'd go Brady, Rodgers, Cup, and then let the chips fall where they may with the number of points. And other people put it in there, and then let's have an award winner. Yeah. And the nominees for – but I think those are going to be your three nominees for NFL Honors Night. Those are your three.
Seems like it.
Jim Gaffigan's in studio. Josh Gad on the phone, and you, Hour 2, coming up.
Also, in terms of only having 50 people vote, the NFL media space now is so much different than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. Like, think about there's probably more people who don't vote who watch and break down more football than the 50 who do.
Technically, Kurt Warner and Michael Irvin are NFL employees. Like, you don't think that they would have an unbiased opinion as to who's the MVP?
They should do it like the Heisman Trophy. Let the former MVPs vote. Let's really open it up.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
a great idea.
Right. And I think that's not a bad idea, Chris. And I know, again, I'm talking about Fight Club here, on live TV and radio, but these are the facts. And the last thing I want is an NFL Honors Night where the prestigious AP presents its most prestigious award that it is allowed to present in the most prestigious sport in America now. And people are like, is that really the MVP? Or did people have an axe to grind? Which to me, I think is far worse than anybody that might think that I had a vote and think that, Rodgers vote for Brady. Right. Yes, boss.
By the way,
yes, boss. By the way, whatever you say.
The irony,
whatever you say, Mr. Goodell.
And the irony of Goodell pushing a pro Brady is like,
that's correct.
I know some states up north that have some umbrage with that take.
By the way, you guys talked about interceptions a few minutes ago. Brett Favre in his 3 MVP seasons, you know how many picks he threw?
Probably a ton.
He threw 42 picks.
And
he was MVP.
That's him.
13, 13, and 16.
That's him.
And he won
Brett said,
MVP.
Can't say I didn't try.
I plead the fifth.
Mariucci stories about him and Holmgren trying to just tell him, don't. They're great.
Can't help it, man.
42 picks.
And then a man whose football judgment Mariucci was in charge of corralling and could not. Mariucci hired as his babysitter. Can you imagine Brett Favre as your babysitter?
No.
It's like Mr. Mom, right?
No.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.